in the NFC. What's stopping them from being the best team in the NFL? We're going to discuss that. Brock Purdy to the moon. He's going up. 49ers defense, what might be an issue and kind of bite them, a little undisciplined, that other cornerback spot. We're going to discuss all that and more. Feels good to be back. Welcome to San Francisco 49ers Morning Show. Let's effing go.
Intercepted. It is picked off by Eric Crocker. Over midfield, he'll run it all the way into the end zone. Touchdown.
Cross Talk TV podcast. Peace.
Welcome to another episode of the San Francisco 49ers Morning Show. I'm your host, former NFL and AFL defensive back, Eric Crocker. And I'm excited to be back with y'all, man. It's been a long time. I see the stuff in the chat. Man, it feels like 3 months. It does feel like it's been 3 months, but it's been more like 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks or so. But when you go from talking to y'all, talking to each other, 3-4 times a week to just boom, mute. It does seem like a while. I've seen the jokes. My guy Jesse, shout out to my guy Jesse, last second sports. He's like, Croc retired the show. He stepped away from the show. Now we here, man. Greg Pinelli, my dog Greg Pinelli's like, Croc fired me and without firing me. All right, but we're back, man. We're back. And obviously, this is the perfect time. 49ers entering the playoffs. 10 straight victories. We're going to discuss all that and more. Shout out to everybody, all the listeners, everybody that reached out to me, everybody that asked about the morning show. Croc, where's the morning show? All right, man, we back now, baby. We back. Underdog Fantasy, promo code Crocky. Make sure you guys download the app or go to underdogfantasy.com. When you use the promo code Crocky, they will double your deposit up to $100. All right, so if you put in $50, they're going to add $50. You have $100. If you put in $100, they'll add $100. You put in $300, they're still only going to add $100. All right, so Underdog Fantasy, make sure y'all download the app. Support the show. That's how y'all can support the show. Obviously, the likes, the views, and the Underdog Fantasy. All right, promo code Crocky. Let's go. Shout out to my mama in the chat. I see you, Mom. Good morning. Good morning, Mama. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Here we go. I see everybody. I see the usual suspects in here. My guy Marvin, let's go. My guy Trail, let's go. I see the usual suspects in here. Darius, let's go. We got a lot to discuss, man. And of course, I'm gonna bring y'all on as well. Croc has been on Instagram. Hey man, y'all gotta follow me on Instagram. It's at croctime_u. All right, at croctime_ and the letter U. Busy, man. So for y'all that wonder, okay, what's been going on? Why ain't he been here? And we want our 49er talk in the morning, and I appreciate y'all. It's been real busy, man. Traveled to California, drove the family to California for Christmas. So it was at like the 19th. All right, so that was the start of, all right, we're going. Like, we're not doing the show right now. All right, so I was going in California for about a week. As soon as I got back, did a bunch of different things, getting my gym situated, trying to get everything prepped for the new year, new times, training, adult fitness, early in the morning, late morning, early in the afternoon. Then the kids, I train them, and then more podcasts and trying to squeeze in Locked On 49ers, of course, Locked On NFL Draft every day. It's been a lot. And I've been trying to figure out, okay, how do I do this? And I'm getting my office situated at my gym so that I don't have to leave there, and I can go straight from training people to coming on here and talking with y'all every morning. So it's been busy, and this is the life I chose, right? It's like, hey, Croc, you say you want to be an entrepreneur, and I'm having a blast. I'm having a fun time. Went to the beach, Miami, with my wife last week. Had an amazing time. Was only there for 48 hours, however long it was. Ate on the beach. Like, I'm having a fantastic time, but just figuring, factoring everything in, it's been a little tough. But we back. Can't wait to talk about. I know you guys have a bunch of questions, so I can't wait to get to all of that. Here we go. Hi, bro. Here we go. What's your thoughts? Hold on, me. Make sure I start that one right there. Hi, bro. What's your thoughts on the Packers season is over and won't be going to the playoffs? They didn't look good. And that was a team that I think a lot of 49er fans, and even me, not scared of them. First of all, I think the 49ers are the best team in the NFC. The best team. So there's no team that I feel like, oh man, 49ers got to play this team. Like, they pose such a big problem. But there's just certain guys that you just would rather not have to play, or at least have to play first. And I think any team that's led by Aaron Rodgers, that's typically not the first team that I would choose to play. But as far as being like, oh man, like these teams, man, they're so good. No, there's no team in the NFC that makes me feel that way, including the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, so we're definitely going to talk about that. I just started one other one. How do you feel about Lenoir's performance yesterday? I'm glad that you brought that up because Lenoir, I got Lenoir and Hufanga right here. Those two guys specifically. There we go. It's circled. Lenoir, Hufanga. All right, so you see them in the notes right there. My initial thoughts, all right, let's talk about in the moment. In the moment when you see Lenoir get dunked on, all right, that's what we call it. Vince Carter, need that, all right, by AJ Green. You say, all right, like at some point, you just have to move on, right? Ahkello Witherspoon. If anybody listened to me back then, I really liked Ahkello Witherspoon. I thought he was an extremely talented cornerback. Extremely talented. I thought he ran hot and cold. Thought there were stretches, and he'd give you stretches of 3, 4, 5 games where you're like, wow, like this is a long-term starting cornerback in the NFL with rare size, speed, and feet. And then there would just be these games in a row where it's just like, Ahkello Witherspoon beat. And it's just like, what the heck? You know, and it's so confusing. And I don't think Lenoir is as talented or as physically gifted as Ahkello Witherspoon, but he gives you this play where you're just like, you're looking for more. You start to look for, okay, I need a little bit more. Now, I don't expect him to play like a starter. And I think for some people, when we talked about it last year with like Josh Norman, right? Everybody want to complain about Josh Norman. And it's like, guys, y'all crying about a guy who nobody wanted to start the season. Nobody wanted him on their roster to start the season. The 49ers got into a tight situation where they had to add a guy off of the street who was not on the team. So I didn't have any type of real expectations for him. So it's like, I'm not going to complain anytime he gives anything up. And I think with Lenoir, when you start the season, he is not your starting cornerback. Your starter is Emmanuel Mosley. Your starter is Travarius Ward. Like, those are your guys. Now, I've always said I felt like Lenoir profiles better as a nickel, right? In my opinion. And I thought he'd be a legit nickel. And we'll see what's going on with Samuel Womack and stuff like that. But as far as being an outside corner, Lenoir was never going to be your first choice. So when you see him give up plays, right? And we saw it in the Washington Commanders game. We saw it in the Raiders game against Devontae Adams. And then you see it last game, a big play to AJ Green. Well, he's going to give that up because that's just kind of him. Like, he's not your CB1 and he's not your CB2. So at some point you do have to start to figure out, all right, can we improve on him in this moment right now? And do you go out and give a guy like Jack Rabbit an opportunity? And I would say, okay, maybe. Now, it happened early on. I panicked. I'm not the one to panic. I panicked yesterday. And I said, and when I say panic, it's not like over the top panic, but it's just maybe it's time to try to figure something else out at that position. Well, D'Amico Ryans, who knows a lot more than me, decided, Croc, it is not that time. And we're going to keep him in. And I would say that throughout the rest of that game, Lenoir played very well. And he wasn't an issue. Now, do you have to account heading into every game that almost like when, and this is not a shot at Jimmy, but just understanding who Jimmy Garoppolo is, there's going to be a couple bonehead plays when Jimmy Garoppolo is your quarterback. But outside of that, you can still win. And now have that kind of same thought with Lenoir being out there, who is not projected to be your starting corner. There might be a play or so, a game, where he just gets beat. But I think, and I mean, the 49ers have shown us around him, because he's been playing all year, around him, you can be, they're really good. And if you're good everywhere else and you're good on the D-line, a guy that was not projected to be your starter give up a play or so a game, but everything else is good, then you get what the 49ers have given you, which is the best defense in the NFL. So that's kind of how I feel about Lenoir and his performance. There's a play, it's weird. Outside of that, thought he played well. And I like if let's say the table was returned and that's Travarius Ward, my expectation for Travarius Ward are much higher. I don't expect Travarius Ward consistently each game that he's gonna give up a play, but okay. Like no. They pay you the big bucks to be better than guys like Lenoir. And so the expectations, I think, for us and as a fan, you have to understand you can't have the same for both guys. You can't expect Lenoir to play like Travarius Ward because Lenoir is not Travarius Ward. He's just not. So it's probably nothing that I'm going to complain about. I'll see and kind of monitor, and I'm pretty sure we all will, how they go about that situation moving forward. But overall, I just think he's a backup that's had to start and fill in. And at the very least, there's a play here and there, but he's contributing to a team that's number one defense in the NFL. All right, so that's fun. Croc, what's your thoughts on facing the Seahawks for the third time? Don't care. This is not the Los Angeles Rams from a year ago. All right, the Rams from a year ago, it was like, man, this team is really good. Right, like that team was legit. And when the 49ers beat them the second time, it was like, man, you're down 17-0 at one point. You have this monumental comeback. You have to win in overtime, and then you have to play them for a third time. But I think it was very clear that that game could go either way. I thought they were just as talented, if not more talented than the 49ers. So when you play them for a third time, that is a lot different than playing the Seattle Seahawks for a third time, who I guess if you want to look at what might help them is just knowing their opponent, playing them multiple times, kind of understanding them, but just in the sense of who is the better team. And in my opinion, without a doubt, it's the San Francisco 49ers. They're better on defense. They're better on offense. They're better running the game. They're passing the ball extremely well right now. They're good on special teams right now. Ray McLeod's doing terrific as a return man. So scoring a bunch of points. I see Rome right here. Purdy putting up 40 points, right? Like the 49ers are scoring at a high clip. So regardless of, you playing this team for the third time, like they are not the last year's Rams. They're not. So I think everybody's going to look at that scenario and kind of be a little worried about playing a team three times. I don't think so at all. Now, obviously I have a lot of respect. Oh, hold on. I'm going to show y'all my new mug. My daughter's mom actually bought me this. Cat Dad. There you go. I have a lot of respect. Like I saw someone, I had tweeted out, 49ers, best team in the NFC. And a Rams guy said, best team in the NFL. And another guy commented under there and said, so then they should win the Super Bowl, right? And if they don't, they choke. Pretty much that's what he's saying. And in my opinion, like I have way more respect for teams in the NFL to just be like, 49ers, they should just steamroll everybody. Now, again, I can head into the game saying the 49ers will be favored, right? Like what game will the 49ers not be favored in? Maybe Philly in Philly. But aside from that, like they're going to be favored in these games. So all that means is that, like, yeah, they are the better team. You know what I'm saying? They're the better team. But you still have to go and win the game. So I have more respect for these NFL teams just think 49ers are just going to blow through everybody, even though they kind of have been doing that. But as far as, just kind of the expectations of that. A lot of fun stuff. A lot of fun stuff here with this team right now. I'm looking at the playoffs. Okay, here we go. Playoffs are different. You have to raise your level of play, and Purdy can't get it done. Whoa, hold on, Gene. So that must have been what someone responded to and said, and Gino can't? And Gino can? Right? Like Gino I'd assume he hasn't played in a playoff game. So one thing that I'm not going to do, and you guys will never see on this show, I will never say what somebody can or can't do. Now, there will always be some guys that have these different things that they have to work around. Maybe certain limitations. There's certain things I see even with Brock Purdy, right? But if you know how, use myself as an example. I play cornerback. Cornerback is a position where you kind of got to be able to run. I couldn't run, right? So I was a 4.55 guy. I had to know how to play around not being fast. So how do I position myself? How do I have to play against certain guys a certain way? I have to do certain things. I have to maybe play a step ahead mentally, right? And I think that was what got me at the NFL level, where that part wasn't clicking yet, and that was the reason why I didn't have this long career in the NFL. But you have to learn how to play around those limitations. And if you learn how to do that and you learn how to perfect that, then you can do anything as long as you play within your skill set. So as far as Brock Purdy can't get it done, why can't he? Why can't he? I think that's why it bothers me so much when people take my things I say out of context. Maybe I should just be more like this way or that way. Our producer, I guess you could call him producer, but my guy Ross for Locked On, he wants me to be more like, no, Croc, just say this or don't say it. Like, nah, man, because it's never like that. It ain't never like that. Purdy can play. He's proven it. I don't know what more you want to see. All right, but Geno Smith, he's done well. Geno's played well. Geno's played well. I've talked about my time kind of with the New York Jets. And, obviously Geno Smith and we were rookies at the same time. So when you're rookies together, you spend a lot of time together. We spent a lot of time together at the hotels. We spent a lot of time together in these different meetings that we had to be in as rookies or, first and second year guys. We hung out all the time in the hotels. We did all that, right? And Geno, rookie year, he was, it was tough on him because he was a guy drafted to New York. He felt like he should have been drafted much higher. He would end up going to the top of the second round. And there was a lot of pressure on him. And I think I felt that. Like, I could see that. I talk about, I go to his room. We're playing Madden. It's just me and Geno. We're playing Madden. And he pauses the game, and he's, taking shots of, Ciroc from the bottle just to the face. And I'm like, this motherfucker, he's stressed. It's a stressful situation. I'd say the version I see of him right now is one that is not stressed. He's much more mature. He's very calm. He's handling himself extremely well. I think he's done a really good job with the situation with the Seahawks, where no expectations, and then he's come out and he's had a really good year. Matter of fact, not just a really good year, it's one of the better years in the history of the Seahawks at the quarterback position. And it's fun. It's fun for me to see him and remember what he was, 9 years ago, however long that was. But yeah, man, Geno, shout out to my guy Geno. I want to see him not win this game, but just win in life. Crazy what 2 or 3 shots outside and down the field can do for an offense. I have some thoughts. Here we go. And we'll kind of tie Brock Purdy into this, and we'll tie Trey Lance into this. Jimmy Garoppolo. When Jimmy was a starter, and first of all, I've seen how quickly y'all switched up on him. And then when I say y'all, it's like, you know who I'm talking about. The guys that were in this chat just, Jimmy G, winning percentage, all he does is win, blah, blah, blah. Like those guys, right? Because listen, I like Jimmy. I like whoever the 49ers starting quarterback is, I like him. Good, just win. All right, I don't care about, it's like I don't have a guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm a 49er fan. You see this? 49er fans, welcome. And others not allowed. I talk about this. I play football. I played in the NFL. I am a 49er fan. So whoever the quarterback is, just win. I don't care. So anything outside of that is just me giving my analysis of that specific player. All right. I heard it all with Jimmy Garoppolo. And I heard, oh, the winning percentage and this, that, and the other. And I'm watching it, and it's like, and it's like y'all are watching the game too. And y'all are watching the game, and it's like it's clear. You're not winning solely because this guy is so good at quarterback. That wasn't the case. Right? Like that was not the case. Like you could watch the game and see it. You could see that not, hey, this quarterback is a solid starter. And you could see what Kyle Shanahan did for him. I'm watching the play calling. I see it. I watch other games and I see what some of these other quarterbacks have to go through. And I'm like, Jimmy's situation, it's a better situation than what a lot of other guys have to do. Like between the run game, the play calling, the schemes, like it's a very good situation for him. Be better than Brian Hoyer, CJ Beathard, and Nick Mullins. And Jimmy is definitely better than them. And if you could be better than them and be a legit starter, then Kyle, with all these damn weapons and stuff, it'll prop you up. But we gotta be real with what he is and what he isn't. And I was always real with what he was, and it's like he might not be able to make that one or two plays that you just kind of need a quarterback to make. Now, there are a lot of people that say, with Jimmy Garoppolo, you can't win a Super Bowl. Yes, you can. You just need everything around him to be perfect. And that's hard, especially the higher up games you get, because the separation is going to be this big as it pertains to winning the NFC Championship game, winning the Super Bowl. Like it starts to get narrow, the margin, and then eventually you go up against another guy that just might be better than your quarterback, and then does he just make a couple more throws when he needs to? All right, so I wanted to get my thoughts on kind of Jimmy, because now the tide has switched and you see what Brock Purdy is doing. And Brock Purdy is playing very well. Brock Purdy, when I watch him, all right, first of all, love him. I think I gave him, and we'll probably talk about it more on Locked On 49ers, but I gave him a game ball, not just for the game, but just on the season, right? Like just on the scenario he was put in. Not ideal. And when I say not ideal, you're a 7th round pick, right? You come in, you gotta come in, and now a team that was hot, right? Like 49ers at this time is hot. And you are the one that is tasked with keeping this championship team afloat. Like you gotta be the guy. The crazy expectations, right? And I'm like, that's tough. Well, what do you know? He's not only keeping this championship team afloat, it's like you're scoring 30 plus points a game, and he's doing all these little things, all right? So, like, I see a lot of really good things. Like, he just looks the moment's not too big. He plays with this certain level of swagger, like this, like, toughness, this grittiness. He's not a big guy, right? Like, he's literally probably the same size as me. 6'1". As a matter of fact, I might even be a little bit taller than him. He's like barely 6'1", all right? Not the biggest guy, but man, he got this scrappiness to him, and it's like, man, I like it. I'll watch it, and he understands the offense, and he's executing it, right? And you see it, and it's like, man, this is good. And you know what it kind of put in perspective for me? How much when you start talking about W's and Jimmy G and all that, how much, and this is not about being right or wrong, but people tried to tell you. I tried to tell y'all. You didn't have to be amazing. Not with these weapons, not in this offense, not with what they're doing, and especially with not how the defense is playing right now. You don't gotta be amazing. And I watched Brock Purdy, and the amazing part is being able to come in as a rookie and do this. Brock Purdy, as well as he's playing very well. He's come in and has played at like peak level Jimmy Garoppolo. Which I think if you were to say you would even get that from Trey Lance or anybody else, you'd be like, man, this is good. Like, right, a guy coming in, first time playing, starting, whatever, and it's like, man, he's playing peak level. Like, the things that you wanted from Jimmy, or the things that Jimmy gives you, he does that. And then he gives you, like, a little extra ad-lib, a little extra throw that's down the field. All right. Watching him, it let me know that, yeah, Jimmy, what is a solid starter, and that's it. but not a guy that you 100% have to hold on to. I don't think that Brock, now, what are we comparing him to? All right, so there's levels to a lot of this. Are we comparing him, if we're comparing him to Jimmy, I think he can give you a little bit more than Jimmy. I think he's proven that. And who knows? He may very well continue to keep giving you a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And next thing you know, you got goddamn Drew Brees or something. I don't know, right? Like, there is a scenario where that's the case. Right now, I haven't seen like, oh, special throw. There's some good throws. Layer throw, right? Like you would make, like want your starting NFL quarterback to make. See, guys open, he hits them. Wow, we're playing the Seahawks. They busted the coverage. George Kittle's running wide open. He hits him. Oh, fake screen. George Kittle's open in the middle field. He hits him. Like, he's done a really good job of finding that, hitting him. I talked about playing within yourself, right? And when he plays within himself, it looks really good. When he plays outside of what he's capable of doing, it gets weird. And we've only seen that rear its ugly head a couple of times. But I think he's going to continue to learn what he can and can't do. And there are certain things. I saw him try to run away from Simmons. Just throw the ball away. Brock Purdy, you are not running away from Simmons. You're not. Most quarterbacks in the NFL aren't. Most guys aren't. But just throw the ball away right now. I watched, there were some throws where it's like, you don't have quite the arm for that throw. So just don't try that throw right there. Don't roll this way, try to throw back across your body. Like that, you can't do that. But with the things that he can do, Kyle can definitely put an offense around it to where it runs very well and it's very clear. We see the results of that. And I think it's fun, it's new, and it's like it's kind of what I thought in the sense of the quarterbacking for the 49ers, that you don't have to be special, but there still is a level or two above what Brock Purdy has shown he can do. Now again, he might be able to do more. We'll see how this progresses. We're talking about a guy that's 5 starts in, 6 starts in, whatever. So I don't know what he's gonna be. But I'm just saying right now what it looks like. But he's been awesome. He's been awesome, man. He moves well. He has this creativity to his game. And when I watch him and I put a title like this, 49ers are the best team in the NFC entering the playoffs, I think a lot of it has to do with the confidence that I have in Brock Purdy and what he brings to the quarterback position. So hopefully nobody takes anything I just said out of context, because clearly I'm just giving you, like, if I'm watching the game from an evaluation standpoint, it's like, well, he could do this, and he does this well, and I can win with this. Don't do this, because that's not you. You can't do that. But you can do these other things, and we can win with that. So that's kind of my thoughts on Brock Purdy. Why I think the 49ers are the and this was to Damon. He talked about crazy 2 or 3 shots down the field, man. And now here's the part too. And I've seen it with Trey Lance. Trey Lance definitely not as efficient of a passer as Brock Purdy. But we have seen Trey Lance just be more aggressive with his eyes and push the ball down the field and throw incomplete passes down the field, right? Like, we've seen that. We saw it week 1. We saw the pushing the ball down the field even against the Chicago Bears in the rain. Jimmy Garoppolo, for whatever reason, it's like the throws that are there, he just doesn't do it. Brock Purdy throws it. So you can kind of nitpick a couple of times here and there where maybe he got rid of it too quick to check down and there was a guy coming open downfield. But for the most part, he don't really miss those. And I think with Jimmy, it's like his eyes just didn't even work there. And it was like, maybe it's Kyle. No, it's not Kyle. Because I saw Trey Lance throw the ball down the field, and I'm seeing Brock Purdy throw the ball down the field. I'm seeing Brock Purdy throw the ball. I'm at the Washington Commanders game. I'm there, end zone, and I'm actually in the end zone where he's throwing the ball towards it, but when he threw the ball to George Kittle, and I see 2 guys running into the same area. They're both open. But all you got to do is just throw it out there. Just throw it. They're wide open. And for whatever reason, Jimmy either just didn't see those things or his eyes didn't work that way, or he's too quick to check it out. I don't know what it was. But it's like it's there. And it's been really fun to see the 2 or 3 shots down the field because they're there. They are there. And Brock is throwing it. Yep. Players are all from, man. Like anybody, and this is the NFL first of all. I try to explain this, but it's like anything else in life, right? Like, what do you guys have a job or whatever? People have been doing the job for a really long time. Is like, who's a new person? My wife talks about it all the time with nursing. My wife's an RN. And she talks about how there's like this thing with the older generation of RNs. They kind of like poke at the younger nurses for whatever reason. And it's kind of like, not bullies, but it's just, and essentially it's just like, you have to prove yourself. And I think that the veterans are behind Brock because he's proven himself to be whatever it is that the 49ers need him to be. He's that. And it's like, hell yeah, we can get behind that. And I think that's why they're all for it. They just want to win. They don't care about nothing else. They don't care who you are, where you're drafted. The players don't care. They just want to win. Yeah. All right. Appreciate everybody that's in the chat right now. Here we go. Got a super chat. Sorry for hugging you at the Commanders game. I got nervous. And thanks for not slapping the fuck out of me. Oh, no, it's good, man. Hey, shout out to everybody at the Commanders game that said what's up. That's what's up. All love, man. All love. Hey, hugs all around, man. We all family, man. We all family. Should we be worried about the secondary? No. Well, okay. Are you worried about a play here and there? God damn. I think the 49ers have proven that a play here and there, given up by the defense, isn't going to hurt them. That's what it looks like. Now, again, come playoff time, things tighten down. Teams, they're going to scheme a different way. They're going to force you to start doing things you don't want to do. They're going to try to expose, like you don't see, typically you don't. We've seen it with 49ers Packers in the NFC Championship game a couple years ago, but typically you don't see blowouts in the playoffs. Like games are much tighter. There was one weekend last year, I think when the 49ers beat the Packers in Green Bay, every game in the playoffs was decided by a field goal. Every game in that round. I came up like $2,000 off of $100. I put $100 down. I bet on like all the underdogs, and they all hit. And it didn't feel like they were underdogs, but all those games were decided by 3. And I was just like, it just showed it gets tighter. It gets tighter in the playoffs. So, will they be an issue in the playoffs? Secondary? I'd say they make enough plays to where no, right? They'll give up something, but they make plays. How many interceptions does the 49ers have right now? The corners. It's a lot. They're not just corners, excuse me, secondary. It was like 20 interceptions. I remember a couple years ago, they had like 5 interceptions. It was the first year Richard Sherman got there, they had like 5 interceptions on the entire season. So that's not they're doing well. Yeah, we can again the one play that's gonna stick out to us. But I've said outside around that, they've done a really good job of playing well. They had 17. I thought they had 17 heading into last game. Because I remember at one point in the game, they said the 49ers had 19. And I think they had one more interception so I wouldn't be surprised if they had 20. I wouldn't be surprised. Is Kittle back? Touchdown machine. Gammon, this is great. I like that you brought this up. Because is Kittle back? And I looked up something, right? Because it feels like, and I've seen a lot of it, right? I've seen a lot of what everybody's saying about George Kittle and what he's doing, et cetera, and all this. And I'm like, all right. But when you look at the box score, so here we go. There's two different. Is Kittle back in the sense of his impact on a win? I would say yes, because we've seen a big rise in his touchdowns, right? Like Kittle has never been a red zone threat like that. And I see Green. Hold on, did I skip your super chat? I did. Okay, I skipped the super chat. I'm gonna have to go back up. But Kittle has never been a red zone monster we're gonna go to him and he's gonna score all these touchdowns and stuff like that. So I don't even know if it's that he's back. I think he's kind of reinventing himself because Brock Purdy's just willing to throw him the ball in the red zone. But outside of that, it's really kind of the same George Kittle. He had 4 catches yesterday for 29 yards. That's 7 yards a catch. That doesn't feel like George Kittle. Now, again, 2 of those touchdowns, it was like, boom, big plays. But it's like, that's not like earth-shattering, right? Like 4 catches, 29 yards. All right, then you go to the game before that. 4 catches, 23 yards. 5.8 yards per catch against the Raiders. But he scored a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? So the impact is there. Now, before that, they had the Seahawks game, and I talked about it, and I think a lot of it was, all right, you had to, now, I will take it. But the Seahawks busted the coverage. He's wide open. He catches the ball with nobody within 10, 15 yards of him, and he weaves and runs in for a touchdown. Something similar like that against the Commanders as well. He had a couple plays where it was just like, all right, let's go. So he had those 2 games where it was like 120 yards, 93 yards. And in the game before that, Tampa Bay, 4 catches, 28 yards. And you know what I'm saying? So is he back? I don't know. I feel like it's kind of, it's more so the same, but you add a touchdown in there. So you've had a couple big games and then a lot of very below average from a box score standpoint. Maybe more impactful with the blocking and definitely scoring a touchdown. But as a pass catcher, which what I think he's capable of doing, right? Like I think George Kittle, if you emphasize it enough, could be best receiver in the tight end, best tight end in the NFL. If you emphasize it enough. And they just don't. But it has been awesome to see him become a touchdown machine. It has been. Is he back? He is back in the end zone. All right, here we go. My guy Green. Here we go. Your prediction for Lance going forward. We'll have all our takes about Lance in the offseason. If I had to guess right now, and this is because it could change, right? You go into the playoffs and Brock Purdy stinks it up, which I don't anticipate him doing. Then it's just all right, like, Brock Purdy get healthy or Trey Lance get healthy or whatever, or there'll be some semblance of a quarterback competition. If Brock Purdy goes far and it's like clear, like he just keeps playing how he is, I think they'll, out of respect, have a quarterback competition. But I don't know if it'll really be a competition. I think it'll be like Brock Purdy's job to lose. And I think at that point, you try to trade Lance if you just feel like, okay, we're just going to stick with this kid. So there's that. Now, again, this is not me planting my flag on one side or the other. So don't hit me with no weird shit in the chat, y'all. Y'all know how y'all start to get. All right, but if I had to guess right now, it's January 9th, 9:11 a.m. Central Time, 7:11 a.m. Pacific Time. If I had to guess, I would assume that there will be some kind of quarterback battle in camp between Brock Purdy and Trey Lance. If I had to guess right now, a few weeks from now, we could be having a totally different conversation. All right. Now, what does that look like? I, for one, thought that Trey Lance, I started seeing him do some better things that I wanted to see him do until the monsoon hit. Then I thought against the Seahawks, he came out doing the things that I thought he could do, or I saw him do it. I thought it was heading in the right direction. Then he got hurt, and now we don't know. But you know more about Brock Purdy than you do about Trey Lance. And I think that's an issue in itself. So I at the very least think there will be a competition. That's what in my head. What happens with that competition, we'll see. We'll see. And to be honest, I don't care. I do not care. I just who is the best quarterback for the 49ers? They're gonna be able to show it, prove it, and go out there and play. And whoever it is, awesome. Let's go win. I just want to see my team be good. Be good. That's all. That is all. Yo, Croc, where can I get the Frontline Sports merch? Good question. I'm actually paying for it today. It's gonna cost me like $2,700. But I'm paying for it today, and I'll have it. I need to come out with like the 49er Faithful one. Y'all want the Faithful merch? I'm gonna come out with the Frontline Sports Faithful merch. I am. It's probably gonna cost me another couple $1,000, but I'm gonna come up with it, and we're gonna sell that. All right. Need to do it right now, huh? Why it's hot? Why the 49ers still in the playoffs? All right, here. We go as far as our D and RBs take us passing is A plus. Yeah, I hear you. I think that's a dangerous philosophy to live on because in the playoffs, there's gonna come a point where you're going to have to win a different way. Ideally, yes, this is how the 49ers want to win. And if they can win this way, then they are happy, right? And that was the thing with, again, Garoppolo. All right. I don't want to bring him up in like this negative. I appreciate the things that Garoppolo did for the 49ers. All right. But it was like, oh, you don't need the quarterback to do a bunch, right? And my thoughts are, you don't need that until you do need that. And then if you do need that, do you have the guy that can do it? That's why I put in this title, 49ers are the best team in the NFC entering the playoffs. I did not say the 49ers are the best team in the NFL entering the playoffs because I have to see it, right? Like I have to see, like we got Purdy on this side, and they got Mahomes on that side. And what does that look like when this shit gets real, right? And I just don't know. I know more of what I've seen from Mahomes, where no matter what's going on, throw an interception in the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl, down 10, doesn't matter. Here I come. Right? Doesn't matter. Here I come. I watched Patrick Mahomes down 24-0 to the Houston Texans. And you know what? It don't matter. Here I come. That's how I feel like he talks. It don't matter. You know, boop, 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 boop. Right? It does not matter. So like when I know who's on the other side, so I can't say 49ers are the best team entering the playoffs in the NFL, but I could definitely feel it in the NFC. I could feel it. Goddamn Patrick Mahomes, he's the boogeyman. I don't care. I just got please knock him off somebody. I hope that just don't go to the Super Bowl. I strongly feel, maybe I should put money on it right now. I feel like 49ers going to the Super Bowl. Y'all get that feeling too? I don't know. I just feel it. I feel it. I feel it. Feel it in my bones. In my bones, man. Jaheim, finally. Yeah, I'm back, man. I'm back. Now, tough thing is, I'm back, but I'm not going to be back tomorrow or Wednesday because tomorrow morning I fly to Orlando. One of the kids I train, I call him a kid. He's a young man. Plays cornerback at Vanderbilt. He's in the All-Star game. He's entering the draft. He's in the All-Star game. So I'm flying into Orlando in the morning. I go watch him practice, all that stuff. Go eat with his family and stuff. Me and his family, we real good now. So I won't be back Tuesday, Wednesday, but Thursday we back in this bitch, man. We back. All right. Sean, shout out to Sean in the chat. Let's go. You still think they need to get Lenoir out of there? It looked like a push off. He's usually in good position. All right. I hear what he did get pushed off. He got pushed off not once, not twice, like 3 times in one play. But here's the thing, Sean. They're not calling that. And when I saw the push off, I didn't even think to put that on social media because guess what? Like they're not calling that. They don't call that in the NFL right now. That little, and he did it like 3 times. And he's 6'4". It's like, bro, 6'4" versus 5'9", 5'10". Like, bro, come on, man. What more advantages do you need? I did think he finished the game strong. I did get caught up in the moment, and I'm just like, it's starting to get a little weird. It's starting to get a little weird. But what do? You didn't come into the season saying, we finna ride with Diamador Lenoir. Like, nah, you came in thinking like, man, I got Mosley, I got Travarius Ward, like we good. We got Verrett coming back from injury. Nope, Verrett's gone. Mosley gone. And that's tough. And it's like, well, he gotta play. Why do people act like no CB gets caught on? It's just gonna happen. It's the nature of the position. It's the nature of the position. It just is. So, yeah, I think it's tough because the 49ers defense is so good that anything that gets a little weird is like very glaring. Right? It's like, whoa, That's not supposed to happen to the 49ers. But it's like, yeah, no, it is. I mean, it happens to everybody. And within that happening, they still have the best defense in the NFL. You know? Still got the best defense in the NFL. All right, all right, all right. Do I got another super chat? Hold on. No. How's everybody doing? Y'all want to come on live? I got 10 minutes. I got 10 minutes. So you guys want to come on live? Feel free. Come on. There's the link. I got 10 minutes. So a bunch of people click in. You know what I'm saying? We got it. 11 minutes. 11 minutes to be exact. 11 minutes. Callie says, Croc is consistent. Listen, I don't make enough money for this shit. All right. So I do this. Listen, this show is because I want to be able to just have a conversation. And I love having a conversation with y'all. You know what I'm saying? But now if I'm making 10 bands on the morning, you know what I'm saying? This is different. But I come on here just to rap with y'all, talk with y'all. You know, this is okay, this is cool. Here's my folks. But the other stuff I do is where I make my money. So that's going to come first. That is going to come first. For sure. All right. And I'm not going to lie. Y'all lucky y'all got this next guy coming up right now. All right. Because he makes sure he keeps me on my toes with the morning show. Good morning, Chris. How you doing? Chris.
Wow.
Yo.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
All right. Well, I'm glad I heard that last part that you said where you say you don't make enough money for this. Croc, the reason why you don't make enough money for this because you're not consistent with this and you don't cut up videos. You don't come home here every day. Consistency would actually bring this should be your breadwinner because that other stuff can let you go. And this is all you. That other stuff, somebody could just make a decision to say, I don't want you, Croc, and then where the bread coming from?
Right. No.
I'm just saying.
This is real. That's some do you listen to Dame Dash at all?
I've heard many of his interviews. I'll say that.
So Dame Dash was on the Breakfast Club, and he was talking about how
I watched that.
Yeah, when he was saying like they can fire y'all from this job, like you have a boss, right? So essentially, you are correct, but do you want to cut up my videos? I'll pay you, Chris. Now there you go. You said I need to do it, and come on, I will pay you to cut my videos up, Chris.
I think this is what I'm going to say. We'll have this conversation off air. Actually, let's just talk football. We'll have this conversation off air.
Yeah.
Croc, I'm excited, bro. Hey, I'm going to the game on Saturday, so hopefully all you faithful there. And if y'all see a fat guy with a big 49er chain and a Debo Rosemary chain, y'all better come say what's up. But I'm excited. I'm on cloud 9. This is revenge from 2013. I want this matchup because I wanted the revenge. I didn't care about the Packers. Everybody was like, "Oh, I'm scared to play the Packers." Man, I wasn't scared. That y'all see that fraud team that just played, washed Aaron Rodgers. I ain't even gonna go there. Anyways, this is revenge. Listen, what they did to me in 2013 it's been bothering me for years. I need my get back. So this the one. This the one. We owed them. Shout out to the Niners, 2013 Niners. Literally a tip pass away from going to another Super Bowl. So I want my get back with Seattle. This is a rivalry. This is a rival. Now I will say this is the third time we're playing them this year. I know, Croc, he talked to me when we talked. He told me, and I knew this stat too. The team that beats the team the team that beats the team in the regular season twice and then plays them in the playoff, the percentage does show that the team wins I mean, if you swept them and you play them again, that the team wins. So,
What you saying? 'Cause I think you're still kind of worded. Basically, what he's saying is typically when you beat a team twice in the regular season, the percentages say you beat them as well in the playoffs. So you
but
typically more times than not go 3-0 against them, as opposed to what happened last year. Like last year is the that's on the lower end of the percentages of what typically happens in that scenario.
I mean, we did have a 10-point lead last year too.
And it did have a 10-point lead. It did.
But this is the difference between this year and last year. I think last year when we came into that game, our true weapons really was. I mean, it was literally Debo carrying us, through that whole playoffs. This is different. You got Ayuk, who to me grew up in my eyes versus the Raiders. I know I gotta be quick. You got Kittle, you got McCaffrey, you got Jawan Jennings on third down, Debo. I mean, we got a plethora of weapons now. So we're going in different. But for me, I'm always nervous. I don't like playing the team a third time, but this Seattle, I need my get back. Shout out to this team. Shout out to the 49ers. I'm gonna leave with this. And I think you'll agree. I think most people will agree with me. This is the best offense that Kyle Shanahan has fielded with this team since he's been here. This is his best offense. Since Christian McCaffrey started being a full-time starter, this team has scored 30-plus points 6 times. Y'all have a good one.
All right. Shout out to my guy Chris. All right, here we go. Moving along. We got Mr. 49 Problems with a Z. Good morning, man. How you doing?
Hey, Crocky, welcome back, my guy.
Oh, appreciate you. Thank you.
Hey, I had to hit you up on Twitter. Like, what? I must have missed the memo. I ain't seen my dog. I be looking. I was checking. I was going through withdrawals. I was checking my subs. I was like, oh shit, what did I miss?
You know how long it's been? I forgot to I ain't even do none of this stuff on YouTube. That's how long it's been. Look, how did I forget to do that? But go ahead. I'm doing it now.
Hey, my boy, I didn't really call with nothing in particular, but I will say that the Niner vibe this year is ridiculous. It's incredible. I refuse to say it because I don't want to jinx anything whatsoever. But, I mean, just listening to the players, and I think I've mentioned this before to you, just the laser focus that they have. Like most people, most teams, they kind of tiptoe around, 1 week at a time, one game at a time, and they do say some of that. But they're clearly about the bigger goals. And they're not afraid to say it. You know what I'm saying? D'Amico says it. Bosa mentions it. Purdy talks about it. So it's like we could go from Kyle Shanahan's best season ever to, if he don't get to the Super Bowl, one of his most disappointing seasons, just because like the expectations for everybody are so high.
Right. What do you think about just, let's say, and again, we'll just start with one game at a time. All right. 49ers versus Seahawks. Your thoughts?
Division games scare the shit out of me, period. I don't care who it is. Just because it's a divisional game. And on top of that, it's the third game. But honestly, we're a much better team than Seattle. I think Pete Carroll might have something in his bag. I think we could expect a couple trick plays, maybe 1,000 play actions in a row. I think who did that to us one year? I think Sean McVay did it, where he started the game with like 9 straight play actions or something like that.
Yeah.
But whatever they do, they're gonna have to capitalize on it, and they're gonna have to turn into points, because I think like the Niners ain't fucking or messing around this year. They're like really about that. So we beat the Seahawks. Who we get, perhaps?
I would say hold on. Let me look at the playoff standings. Hold on. Playoffs. I need to look at the bracket.
I want to say it might be like Minnesota or something like that, or the Giants.
So it just it's going to depend, right? So if, let's say 49ers win. If Minnesota wins as well, then the 49ers are going to have the Vikings.
Right.
Now, if Minnesota loses to the Giants, then the 49ers are going to have the winner out of Dallas and Tampa. Which Tampa, I think, is just terrible. And Dallas, they had an ugly one yesterday. But I still just, in my head, I know Tampa beat them early in the year. I feel like Dallas will beat Tampa, but it is in Tampa. So the 49ers,
Right.
but the 49ers would have the winner at that game if the Giants somehow beat Minnesota, which I don't think Minnesota's good like that. I really think 49ers is the best team in the NFC. I
You
think they
think we'll
are.
just roll right through? We should, man. We should. I think.
I'm not. I'm gonna be a little bit more respectful than to say they'll roll right through. But if I would be surprised if you don't see the 49ers in the NFC Championship game. That would be surprising.
All right. Hopefully, somebody beats Philly too, so we don't have to go to Philadelphia. That sounds like it would suck. Going to, I still call it the vet in my head, but going to Philadelphia in the wintertime, it just sounds like it would suck. But even then, like, we're battle tested. They're not quite yet. You know, they have the tradition and the history, but they're not
Yeah.
battle tested. We've been through it. We've had heartbreak. You know, we've had to fall in love with the girlfriend since our high school sweetheart kind of heartbreak. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but that's all I got, Crocky. I appreciate you, fam. Welcome back. And shit, we'll catch you again on Thursday if I get up early. Sometimes I wake up and I'll be like, oh, shit, it already be in video format. I done missed the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Appreciate you, big dog.
All right, boy. Thanks.
All right. All right. Here we go. Got one more caller coming on real quick. Let me get to this super chat. All right, appreciate the contribution, Javier. Croc, keep doing the show. We love it and love your honest opinion on the team. And listen, my honest opinion, I don't know more than anybody else. You know what I'm saying? I have my thoughts. I have, just the way my brain works and stuff like that. But I do this show because obviously I just want to, I want to be able to talk more than I get to talk on Locked On 49ers. But I like the back and forth with y'all. And I like hearing a different perspective and not just my own voice in my head or on the screen. So I appreciate that you and love my honest opinion. But I really love and enjoy listening to y'all listeners' opinions as well. So thank you. You think it gives us the most problems overall? I think AFC. And I think AFC just because, which I don't think that the Bills are as good. I mean, their record 13-3, but I don't know that I've watched a lot of Bills games for whatever reason. Maybe they're just on TV a lot, but I've watched a lot of their games this year. They don't really impress me like that. I think Josh Allen does some really weird shit. Like, he does some weird stuff when you watch him. Special stuff, but really weird stuff. But the Chiefs and Mahomes, I mean, that's in my head, it's them. Cincy, we'll see. But in my head, it's, if I had to say right now, right, it's like, all right, Croc, who's representing the NFC in the Super Bowl, who's representing the AFC, I would say 49ers versus Chiefs. And Mahomes and those guys, they do scare me. That's the only team. And it's only because Mahomes has shown you that nothing is enough. Like, there is no lead that's big enough. Like, I've watched him in the playoffs. There's no lead that's big enough. There's no moment that's too big for him. There's nothing that he can't do on the field. So in my head, it's just, I would just like to avoid playing him. So hopefully somebody else knocks him off. I loved last year when the Bengals knocked off the Chiefs. I'm like, 49ers go ahead and handle business, and we're going to be rocking one of these, baby. Rocking one of these. Now, this is Arena Football Championship ring. All right, shout out to Sabercats 2015. All right, but I'm like, oh, it's on. But the Chiefs, that's the one team. I just hope somebody else knocks them off before they get to the Niners. And obviously the 49ers have to get to them. The 49ers have to get to them. Dion, good morning, man. How you doing, bro?
Hey, what's good, Croc? How you been, man?
Oh, I'm chilling, man. Chilling. Having a good time rapping with the good faithful on this beautiful morning. It's cold out here. What's the weather like out there in Arizona?
Oh, it's cold, man. Yeah, we out here. It's cold, bro. Yeah, we at about 47. But anywhere in between. Yeah, 47 to 50. Roughly
I think
around
I'll
there.
take 47 right now. Let me see. What are we working with here?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Oh, no. Okay. We're close. It's kind of warming up a little bit. 45 degrees. So
Yeah, we trying to get a little warmer. You know, it's Arizona, so it'll be a couple months. Probably be suffering in that heat. Probably at least by about mid-April. But
I go over to my gym at 4 a.m. and it was like 30 degrees at 4 a.m.
It's cold.
So.
Yeah, you live in Arkansas, so yeah, that it's cold as hell.
Yeah,
But
it'll get there. It's not too crazy though, but it kind of gets there. It gets there. It was
that's
like 0 degrees when I was in California for Christmas, but
yeah.
outside that, it's really a lot more normal
Oh, that's
type
good.
weather out here.
That's good. Yeah, man. I just been watching this stuff, man, and paying close attention, and it's been a fun ride, with Brock Purdy and everything. And all the nicknames people have given him. I called him Glock Purdy. You know what I'm saying? He always got the 9 milli cocked and loaded. He ready to go. Um, Honestly, man, this kid's ceiling is however far he wants to go. That's how I feel about him. I feel like he's done more than enough. He's battle tested. He's shown improved.
Wait,
He's
when you
given
say
everybody.
ceiling, what do you mean by that?
Like I'm just saying, like they talk about a ceiling in football. Like okay, this guy's ceiling is this or that or whatever. Honestly, man, the only thing that the kid lacks is arm strength, and I have seen that on a few different throws. People would probably disagree, but at the end of the day, I've seen a couple of times where I'm like, yeah, this is probably why he fell a little bit because the arm strength doesn't exist.
Do you know what, like, and we'll talk to this guy. I think there are a lot of people that they don't truly understand, like, the arm strength thing.
Yeah.
All right. So, just your opinion, when you think of not having a big arm or strong arm or a powerful arm or however you want to call it, what do you think about with that?
I honestly compare when people talk about arm strength, I look at guys like Joe Flacco when he first came in, Josh Allen, your Patrick Mahomes, guys that can throw those bombs and hit guys in the right spots. That's where I base arm strength off of. Jimmy has
Can I get my opinion on it?
Talk to me. Yeah.
So, to me, when we start talking about arm strength, right? Like just big arm, powerful arm, throwing with velocity, like those type of things. It's really more so about getting the ball up and down before defenders can come over. So not even just like throwing the ball down the field, because I think that's what a lot of people see, right? It's like, oh, big arm. Oh man, this guy launched the ball 60 yards, 70, whatever it is, right? And it's like, how often are you throwing the ball down the field like that? Very few times. But to me, it's all the other stuff that you can get away with when you just have a big, powerful arm. I watched an interception be thrown by Baker Mayfield last night. And he had a receiver wide open, right? And he just didn't have the powerful arm to get that ball up and down before the safety was able to get over, right? So when you look at the guys that typically go in the top 10, they're just more talented from that perspective. They can just put that ball on the line and do certain things that other guys just can't.
Yeah.
And they can do things and be late on throws. They can be late with seeing it. Oh, I saw it late, but my arm is so strong that even though I saw it late, I can get it out, even if it's a 10-yard pass, and still get it there. As opposed to somebody, I watched Purdy against the Commanders. He was late on the throw to, and it was like an 8-yard pass, and he was just late to Brandon Ayuk. It almost got picked off, and it would have been going the other way, right? I mean, it kind of looped, and like Ayuk had to fight away from the defender. Like, so when we start talking about just kind of arm talent, and it's really more so of those things that you see it. And that's why if you don't have a bigger arm, if you are able to play with great anticipation, which I think he's grasping that, if you can do that, then you'll be fine. Peyton Manning at the end of his career, he couldn't throw 40 yards.
Yeah.
But what'd he do? All right, I know I can't throw the ball 40 yards, but when I say hike, I understand where everybody's going to be, and I'm going to let it go right now. And he just threw the softest passes into the perfect spot, right? So when we look at Brock Purdy, and I know I kind of went on the tangent, but you're talking about his arm strength. I think it's more so about the throws that he's just don't attempt those, and you're fine. Now, I always come back to, will there be a time where he needs to attempt that throw? And if he does, can he get up and down before defender gets open, like the interception against the Raiders? Right? Where now it's like, I need a big arm for this throw. Do I have the arm to do that? Oh, you don't. So that's cool that you don't, but just stay away from doing that and do the other things that have you, one, leading the 49ers, 120 passer rating or whatever it is, all these touchdowns. Do those. Stay away from the risky stuff. So when we start talking about ceiling as well, the guys with the higher ceiling, they could just do certain things that other guys can't. Doesn't mean that they're good or better. It just means certain things that you can attempt. When you have a guy that can do it all, then that's when it's like, oh, okay, I should go. And that's why you do risk drafting some of these other guys higher. But go ahead. I know I went off on a tangent.
Oh no, bro, no. I appreciate the explanation. It helps me understand things more. I'm always up for a good debate. I honestly just when I'm looking at the defense, yeah, Lenoir has looked suspect these last couple of games. But honestly, I peg him more so for a nickel. Like I don't peg him as an outside corner. I think he's doing as good of a job as he can. And he's got to continue to get better at. What I've noticed is his angles are not necessarily the best, and his timing is a little off when he's trying to jump and intercept the ball. So that just comes back to working with your coaches, making sure that your technique is right, and at the same time, understanding the film study. I mean, I can't remember what DB this was, but DB said he used to study how long the ball was in the air, like how many seconds. So he knew when to time his jumps properly, you know what I'm saying, so he could get it. Now, yes, that's going to change in the course of the game because you have wind. There's a million different factors that can happen. He tip ball, all kinds of things. But it just takes time for him to continue to know that. And remember, everybody, he's a second-year guy. Don't expect this dude to turn around and wake up be Deion Sanders tomorrow. I mean, he's doing his best he can. Do I like when he messes up or there are big plays? No, nobody does. But at the end of the day, I can understand that he's continually progressing and growing, and he's doing exactly what the defense calls for. Huff is my favorite player on the defense right now. And I'm glad they just said, you know what, since he can't keep his eyes out the backfield, we're going to keep him near the line of scrimmage because that's what had been happening over the past couple of games with Huff. He's been keeping his eyes in the backfield. He let a couple of plays go. That big touchdown to Darren Waller. Waller pretty much walked right past him because Huff was in the backfield and didn't stay in his zone. So there's a variety of things.
Do you know why he was in the backfield?
When I watched that play, man, I mean, I saw the play fake, but I mean, it just looks like he bit on it, and that's what it was. But go ahead and explain it if you have better detail.
Well, the main detail is the Raiders have been running the ball very well, and it was 3rd and 2. So,
Okay.
Situation, football, it's 3rd and 2 situation. They've been running well. He had his eyes in the backfield trying to cheat for the run, and they did a really good job of scheming around it. So I try to look at, especially with Hufanga, there's a couple of different things there with him. One, what can, and I think about this as just prospects. What can you fix? What can't you fix? If your biggest issue is eye discipline, well, we can work on your eye discipline. We can fix that. The instinctual things that he does, you can't teach those things. That's harder. But also the part that can work against him and why he can't be wrong is he's not a plus athlete. He is a missile when he's right, but I don't think he has that ability to really correct himself when he's wrong. So those are, so it's like he can't be wrong with his eyes because there is no makeup.
Gotcha.
And we've seen over the last month or so a few different times where it's like bad eyes, and what are the results. But all right, let's really drive home and fix that. And if they do that, then he'll be all right.
Yeah, and I don't think there's going to be an issue with Huff going forward. I think he's going to be all right. It's just learning and progressing and growing. I think these playoffs definitely give us at a minimum an NFC championship. Then earlier I was letting you know we had 78 passes defense as a team, and we have 20 interceptions in total.
Okay.
So yeah, and I mean Gibb got his 2 yesterday, and he was balling. Another thing, man, George Kittle, double-digit touchdowns for the first time in his career. He broke that record the other day of most receiving yards by a tight end, within the first, 5-6 years. And he did that missing a lot of time. Missing like time. Like he hasn't been as healthy as Travis Kelce. So that's dope. Shout out to JJ Watt. Great career, man. And it was great that the fans respected him, gave him a standing ovation. I have to mention this. I said this before, I'll say it again. Lovie Smith was hired for optics, just for a look, and now you see he's already been fired. So that tells you that the Texans didn't really want him. They just did it because at that time it was the hot thing to hire a black coach. And
remember who they wanted? Do you remember who they wanted?
I forgot who they wanted.
They wanted McCown. But they couldn't.
Oh, yeah.
It would have looked really bad because he had no coaching experience at a high level
whatsoever. Yeah.
And people would have been like, how do you hire this guy
Yeah.
without any like real experience. So we'll see if he comes back into the fold. But yeah, the whole Lovie Smith thing, it was like you're gonna fire him after a year, and it wasn't great, but you did nothing to help him. Almost
Yeah,
like Chip
he ain't
Kelly.
had
Like I
nothing.
think Chip Kelly for the 49ers did a raw deal. Now, whether the other things, coaching, maybe things clashing, whatever, that could be the case. But just in the sense of just from a football perspective, and again, I don't know the insights of how he was in the locker room.
Yeah.
He did a raw deal. You had a worthless roster. You had a GM with Trent Baalke who just refused to spend any money.
Yeah.
They had two free agent signings. One was a third string quarterback that tore his ACL in the preseason. Another one was like a kicker or a punter, right? And it's like, well, of course you only win 2 games, and then they fire him. I think that's a raw deal. I think Lovey did that same way, where it's like, well, look at this team. You got me going out there with Davis Mills. We end up playing with 3 or 4 different quarterbacks, and with the rest of the roster not being good either. And I'm supposed to, make gold with this. Like, there's no way. Then they fire him. I thought he did a raw deal.
Yeah, I mean, hell, look at Steve Wilkes. He got a raw deal back when he was in Arizona. They gave him a year, and freaking Josh Rosen, and his only 2 wins were against us. So it just happens, man. This is kind of the situation that goes on in the league year in and year out. It's nothing new, but I think we have a great chance to make a great run in the playoffs. I love what the defense is doing. Our offense is scoring the way we should be scoring. I don't see any limitations, man. Everybody looks to be healthy at the right time. I believe Kevin Givens is coming back too. T.Y. McGill's playing great. Jordan Willis was playing awesome. It was nice to be able to pull the guys right pretty much at the beginning of the 4th quarter and let everything go, man. It's just been a great thing to watch. It's just been fun, and I am more than happy to continue to watch in the playoffs. It sucks because we have a playoff game Saturday because I got to work.
Right.
But I got to go get the money, man. At the end of the day, sitting there watching that game ain't making me no bread. I got to go out there and get that yaper. You know what I'm saying? So
I'll be at home watching it. That's for sure.
Yeah, hey man, believe me. And I know me. My phone is gonna be going off like crazy, and probably put that joint on do not disturb. Some people don't bother me. But yeah, man.
If you need the link to watch it at work, I got you.
Oh no, I got it. Yeah, I got it. I got the NFL Plus joint. So
for sure.
Yeah, I tried the Dofu Sports thing. It just don't be working out for me. It fails a lot, and I have to watch it in a different way. But it's all gravy. I'll go to if I really choose up, I go to the bar with the homies and watch. Because we got a bar out here in Arizona, Bar City Tavern over by ASU. We did 49er fans take over that joint.
Oh,
so
that's dope.
Yeah, but appreciate you having me on, Croc. Good to see you back, man. I'm glad you was out there doing your thing, getting your money. I understand sometimes, other things take over, but it's always great to have you back, man. I know we're all appreciative of the fact that you are here, and to see that notification pop up on the phone is a welcome sight, man. Hopefully everything is good with you and the fam. Stay blessed. You know what I'm saying? Continue to keep grinding and hustling, and nothing will stop you, my brother.
All right. Appreciate you, Dion.
Yeah, peace.
All right. Shout out to everybody that tuned in today. I'm serious, man. Somebody trying to make a couple bucks or whatever. Hit me up, see if you can help me cut up some of these videos so we can put more content out there, But shout out to everybody that tuned in today. We had 450, 500 live viewers at a time. Wait. Got some super chats here. Sean again. Give me Mahomes. I want the bully in the room. We own him. As far as Purdy, I need to see him after the league adjusts. League adjusts. I don't know. Sean, I don't know about the league adjusting. But as far as wanting the bully in the room, I get you. I understand what you're saying. But I've seen this bully in the room bully too many people. So I get you though. I get you. I get you. I don't know. What do you think about bringing back Joe Woods as a DC or DB coach? Joe Woods. I don't know. I say this. Whoever Kyle Shanahan and those guys bring in, they've done an amazing job of identifying good coaches. So whoever it is, I believe that person is the right person for the job. Whoever that is. All right, appreciate the contribution, Alex. And I appreciate all y'all tuning in, man. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button on your way out. Love all y'all. Appreciate all y'all. And we'll be back Thursday. We will be back Thursday, and maybe Wednesday evening with Greg. I think I'm gonna try to come back Wednesday evening with Greg. We'll see. I got 7-on-7 practice. Got trained athletes, and then Thursday I got. All right, but Thursday for sure. Thursday morning for sure. All right. Until then, I'll see y'all. I'm out. Peace.
Intercepted. It is picked off by Eric Walker. Over midfield, he'll run it all the way into the end zone. Touchdown.
Crop Talk TV podcast. Peace.
Hold up. Wait a minute. You know, and when I go out, I'll be reading the chat. All right. So I got a question. I got a question for you, Gage. And I saw you other coming too. All right. How can the 49ers be the best team in the NFC if they haven't played anybody? Laughing my ass off. Well, who has played anybody? You look at the Eagles. Who have the Eagles played? Who have they beat? They ain't beat nobody. They ain't playing nobody. They're not good. I mean, it's the same. But we see how the 49ers finish the year. They're dominating. They're strong. They're finishing strong. I don't care if they're below 500. Same thing with the Eagles. Who cares? They're winning. They're dominating teams. All right. So, anyways, now I'm out. Peace. Nigga.
Intercepted. It is picked off by Eric Walker. Over midfield, he'll run it all the way into the end zone. Touchdown.
Crop Talk TV podcast. Peace.